So J2O aka Kinetic back with a new session, and I'm gonna be doing a 3-part little mini series on modding and how I do it. There's a lot of good content out there, I think, on modding. I wanted to kind of go into detail on how I do it. I will give a warning. I tend to be very min-max detail oriented when it comes to my modding. If you're looking for something quick and dirty and much simpler, this is probably not going to be the way for you to do it. Or maybe you do this less frequently than I do. You set it up for you do a remod every few months or something along those lines. But modding is ultimately going to be the thing that really sets you apart from your opponent. What you see here is the Grand Ivory's mod optimizer. I'll leave the link for this in the description below, and I'll leave the Discord in the description below. So what you'll do is you'll enter your alloy code here, and you'll fetch your data. And you can only do this once every hour. It's a large parse, so there's a limit either set from the API from Star Wars Galaxy of the Heroes or something along those lines. But they will, you can only do it once every hour. So and it only pulls in the mods you have assigned to your characters. So that's very important. If you want to pull in your data the first time, go ahead and at least run through the automatic assign, on your roster, where you can go ahead and just put mods on everybody, just to have them listed, just to import them. Because what will end up happening is you'll be able to maintain those mods, and so as you change mods up, you'll be able to constantly import the new ones. Whether you change them, you get new ones, or you upgrade them, you'll be able to bring them in. I'm going to go ahead and restore my progress, and this is because I actually have something already going, and it's been a long time going for me. And you'll see a lot of things going on here, and I'll try to walk through it very, very carefully. So all of your characters will initially import in the center area here. You won't have anything on the right-hand side. Now the right-hand side is my organization, and it goes top to bottom, okay? And so it assigns mods top to bottom based on that priority that you put in here. All right. And so you see over here I have a bunch of people in the center. These guys are not being optimized. They are not being assigned mods. They are just kind of there as a pool of my mod holders, or I'm not using them in any current teams. I do try to do like everything that's worthwhile on my roster. There are exceptions, like Akbar. I just don't use him. I don't have a team for him. Let me go ahead and show you what you do. So I'll go over a few things over here. So you can go ahead and manually search. Like there's a lot of characters. I don't know how many characters I have. I think I have over 100. You can go ahead and search for common characters just so you can find something quickly and then move it over. You can set your threshold. So this would be if you, say for example, you've already remodded everything, and you only want to remod if it's going to be 10% better than it currently is. So you can really make it so that you're not quite min-maxing. See, my 2% is very low. But I'm doing a full remod because I reorganized my whole structure. So I went ahead and just lowered it to 2%. Honestly, I could probably change it to 0% because I'm going to be remodding everything. But it really depends. Like if you're just trying to do a touch up and review your new mods real quick and see where they fall, if they jump up on your tier, you can do that real quick. And so we're gonna go. I'm just gonna optimize real quick, and you see it's going through all my characters right now. I just wanted to show you this real quick. Well, I'll explain how it's weighting and all these things, and you can see the total value set here, total value set here. So there's not gonna be any changes to Darth Revan. 313 speed, and you can adjust it here where you can show only the things that have changed. So you'll see Darthside Bastila did not change either. Darth Revan did not change. You adjust it here, so it shows you only the things that change. So Thrawn is pulling from CLS and from HK and Bastila, and he's going to end up with 24 plus speed, so 299 total speed. And you'll see his gains and losses. I moved him up recently on my usage here on my tier, which is why he's starting to pull from all these things, and he's going to have a significant jump in speed. But you can also do show me the mods to move, and it lets you literally go like one by one by one here. I found this to be fairly useful. I tend to do most of my, you see there's a whole bunch of other different different criteria and stuff you can manage. But I tend to prefer to do it this way. For me, it's easier because I can pull this up. I can go ahead and interchange, and just start filtering through and just changing the mods this way. So it's a little easier for me to do it this way when I have have everything in front of me. But I'm sure you'll find a good way to manage it. So let me go back and change my selection. So see, it pulls me back out. So the next thing I want to show you, what's actually going into those that calculate the optimization, and that's the stat weighting. Now the stat weighting, this is a great screen. Like I said, this is for people who really want to be detailed. There are default stat weightings in a lot of these. I can't really argue against a lot of them. I do tweak. I min-max based on leaders for the teams. I min-max based on uniques and strengths, and I'm trying to get the most out of my mods and be very efficient with my mods. So you'll see DR, I do put 10% weighting in health because of the health steal and the health bonus that they get between him and Darth Bastila. Special damage as opposed to physical damage. I do put some defense to try to make up for the difference. Honestly, it's only because you can have 4 stats, so I went ahead and put 5 on defense. That way it would weight defense a little bit higher than tenacity or potency or crit chance. But you can min-max. Like you see, I've selected 2 sets. I want to give him a speed and health set, and that's set in stone. You can set up your criteria along here. Speed, crit damage, protection, health, whichever one. I actually did not set it to protection or health. I was going more for just top speed, but I can go ahead and set. Actually, I don't think I want to. You can see up here, you can say use only mods with 5 dots, 6 dots. Okay, so you can actually set a criteria. This is great for pilots of ships. I put an automatic 5 dots so that I'm making sure that my ship GP is going to be as high as possible. And you can do kind of like a projected. This is interesting. Make sure you're careful with this though, because it can be deceptive. So slice 5 dot mods to 60 during optimization. So it's saying basically, don't just give what's the best available. Project what will be the best available when there are 6 dot mods. But it can be very subjective because you may not roll that great. In this case, it didn't find anything better for him, which is good. That's good. That means I've got my best on Darth Revan, which is exactly what I want. I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Maybe I'll go find somebody that will actually do that too. Let's go down to Padme, and let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna leave her at 1 because she has no pilot. I just want the best mods on her. These are creating weightings. It's not like 100%. It's hard to explain, but you can see here, based on those values, those percent values, it brings in these here, and based on the stats you're getting from the mods, it's calculating a value for each mod, and so it's going to automatically defer to the mod that's the highest value for you, based on your weighting that you put in. I don't know if I paid too much attention to my Padme's weighting or my Padme's current stat. I have not touched the new Galactic Republic team. I'm still working this, but you do see I have done some things. I've got the health set up here. I've got health, speed, upgrade mods to level 15. What that does is if you have a level 12 mod or a level 9 mod or anything that's good, it's automatically projecting that if it was level 15, the stats and the weighting it would be. I think that's on by default, which it was definitely good. So let's go ahead and say slice 5 dot mods to 60 optimization and see how Padme turns out. So it's probably going to bring some blues up from the bottom of my roster into Padme. And that's just because it's projecting that once I upgrade those, they'll be better than what she currently has. Let me see if we can find her. There we go. All right, so it's saying, like, hey, this one right here is ideal. Please bring this up, and it's actually using that projected value. This is not what she would actually end up by applying these mods. This is what she would end up with after they were upgraded. So you have to be very cautious. That's what, again, why you have to be very cautious with it, because it's like, oh, she's getting 8,000 health, 16 speed. That's amazing. Like, what? That's not true. Like, that's not actually a true value. That's a projected value. So you want to make sure you do avoid that. Unless you're just trying to find mods for upgrading. That's what I found that very useful for, is when, for example, I do have this new team here with the Galactic Republic, so it's not a horrible thing to do that and project and find mods that you can spend your upgrade mats on. But it's really useful, and you can actually set different, you'll see here, you can create different weightings. So Jolie, for example, I have him weighted for negative 25% potency, and that's because I don't want to waste a good potency mod on a character whose kit can't utilize it. I have, in my mind, I view, a lot of these YouTubers have built these trees where they have the different tiers for the teams, and I've always really looked at it this way. I have a lot of teams like CLS and Treya, and I have them all on this equal footing, so it doesn't make sense that I use something that it has potency just to gain 1 speed because that character's 1 slot higher, when I could utilize that potency better on another character. So I do build in that potency, that negative, like especially on characters that don't need it. There's not a ton of them you'll run across. There's always scenarios where it is useful, but it for me, this has helped to maximize, further maximize the utilization of my good potency mods. So one other feature that I wanted to demonstrate, let's go to Han real quick. So, Han, I wanted to set his crit chance in a certain range, so I actually posted something on the Discord, and sure enough, they went ahead and added a filter to do that. Because if you weight crit chance a certain way on Han, I feel like it overdoes it, especially since I have him at the top of my tier. It's getting all the mods with crit chance, because they also have a lot of offense and speed on them. But it was such a waste. He had so much crit chance that it was a waste. So, you can set a limit or a range. This is also really good, too, for remodding for some of the different phases for the Heroic Sith raid or potentially future raids. So it may not be all bad. And that's just really, you have to play with the numbers. You have to play with your weighting. You have to just keep tweaking it until you're happy. Like, I'm comfortable. I really don't want her to be that lose 8 speed, but she's got 112 mod speed, so it's not that bad. I will look to get that better in the future, but I'm willing to live with that based on the fact that Grandmaster Yoda and Thrawn are jumping up so high on speed. It works out. I think I net positive. I'm pulling up a mod. Look at this. I'm pulling a mod up from my just my inventory, because I had the reason it shows like this is because I had applied it to a character, fetched the data, and I had removed it from the character and fetched the data again. So it didn't get rid of this mod. It knows I have this somewhere in my inventory. But so it's telling me, hey, go find it. It's in your inventory. It's not assigned to a character. And so you'll see that sometimes. But this is a great tool, guys. I already run this video a little longer than I wanted to, but I wanted to give you kind of how I do my remodding, and how I do my weighting and how I tweak and adjust. And this lets me really maximize every new mod I get, bringing it up into my roster. So this concludes the video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, leave comments down below. With